character was based on in the show.
I am the gay lumberjack.
Kevin's also the author of this fantastic book, Channel of Peace, which is all about his adventures, if that's the right word, in Gander on 9/11. A lot of the stories that you saw on stage, his and others, are real true stories, including the fact that he started a movement giving $100 to his employees to do good deeds on September 11th, starting in 2002 on the first anniversary of 9/11, and it has become a huge movement. And there's also a National Day of Service on September 11th each year. And so I'm going to talk to Kevin and to, like, so excited to see so much of the cast.
Yeah, nice.
2002 has grown, and the same movement, the producers of the show have embraced Pay It Forward and have given $100 to each cast member, is that right? Yeah. We just have one mic for you guys to share, so if you want to take turns. Maybe we'll start by going down the line, say your name, your role in the show, and maybe a little bit about what you did yesterday for the National Day of Service.
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I played Diane, and
Nick and Diane's story, also true.
yeah, that Nick and Diane story is true. I like to tease them and say while everybody else was upset, they were just making out all over Nick. And Nick says, yes. Yesterday, for the Day of Service, we all performed over on the Intrepid. And then we packed meals, and their goal was 550,000 meals to be packed yesterday. So we had a really good time doing that. And then we did the, do you want us to talk about the Pay It Forward? Is that what you're, oh,
yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to do something for maybe illegal immigrants, people who were working, but you know, it's hard to know. So we went to a Mexican restaurant, and we found two of the delivery guys who didn't speak any English at all. And we had these cards that Kevin had given us. And I decided to match the producer's donations, and we gave each guy $100. And they truly had no idea what we were doing. And they really didn't speak any English at all. And I think that they thought they were in trouble at first. And so it was very hard to communicate with them. But you know, I don't know, it just seemed like somebody was going to read them that card eventually, and besides, we were giving them $100, so it was fine.
With each good deed, there's a card that says, Kevin, can you say, here, you can use this mic.
Well, it just says that today's the anniversary of 9/11 in memory of the 2,700 people who lost their lives, as well as to commemorate the kindness and good deeds of people, not just in Newfoundland, but also here in New York. This is Pay It Forward. Don't wait for a natural disaster or terror attack to do good deeds for strangers. Pay It Forward.
For the show, and have it translated to Spanish for you.
That's right.
Well, I teamed up with, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Joel, and I play Claude. I teamed up with Julie and Jen, one of our stage managers, and we went around. We had two things that we wanted to do. We also we matched the original, so we had some money to work with. And we bought subway passes, $20 subway passes, and just looked for people who were coming up to buy subway passes at 42nd Street. And we'd walk up to them, and we had one group that didn't speak any English and were very confused. And we just said, this will get you on the train. And they went, okay. And then there was an elderly man, graying hair, beard, and I walked up to him, I said, here, this is a $20 pass. And he looked at me, he said, what do I have to? And I said, nothing. I said, this is 9/11. And we want you to know that good things happen on this day. And he said, I have nothing. So that was great. That was great.
My name is Chad.
was.
Got some good video of
I
you.
did. I've never worn a hairnet before, and as I don't know. Did anybody say that we opened the event with? We opened the event at the Intrepid. We were introduced by the organizers, and we sang the prayer song for all the volunteers, and.
That's the one that's in your channel of your piece, which is the name of Kevin's book.
Yeah.
And very quickly, but that song, imagine if you were humming a song today and then 15 years later it became in a musical. That's how crazy it is. But Make Me a Channel of Your Piece was a song I was singing in a choir just before 9/11.
Yeah. Yes. And do you tell them the story about how you didn't? When you first saw the musical, he's like, how did they know that was the song I was trying to remember? And he went to the writers and said, how did you know? And they said, you told us that in your interview. He had no recollection of it. Anyway, I know his life. It was funny, I ran off stage just at the last time I ran off stage, and he was right there, and I was like, this is weird, worlds collide. So yesterday we sang prayer, and then we were able to, pack the lunches and everything, and just to be able to see, you don't really often see thousands of people getting together in such with a common and beautiful purpose for good in the same place, and it was remarkable. It was remarkable. And then, of course, just to sit around with my cast members and some guy I didn't even know. I forgot his name, dang it. Anyway, and just, salt, veggies, rice, lentils, go. Salt, veggies, rice, lentils for an hour and a half. It was great. My pay it forward, really quickly, my partner and I, we have decided to keep it our secret. Yeah, and... Sorry. Yeah, life is good, and I watched a little bit of the images last night for the first time in a long time of that day, and we can find such good to start the day with such the good part, of us, and then, to end it remembering the day and the terror and the hopelessness. But we have kindness as an antidote to the evil, and without the evil you can't see the kindness. Without the kindness you can't see the evil. So it was a great day.
Thank you. An anonymous good deed. There's something special about keeping, nobody ever knowing, except the person on the receiving end and the person who did it. I think that's beautiful. Caesar?
Hi, I'm Caesar Samayoa. I play the other Kevin J, and yesterday was so beautiful, and I think what really moved me is that we were there to sing prayer, which is a celebration of this amazing moment in the show where all religions are saying the same thing. And before we started, we witnessed the real life version of that with all these different religions saying a prayer to start off the day. And it was really moving to see kind of the real version of what we do on stage happening before our eyes. And this message that was so beautiful yesterday is that we have thousands and thousands of people who are trying to turn this day of 9/11 around by putting good out into the world, and it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. For my Pay It Forward, we did this last year as well, and I loved going to my kind of little local mom and pop coffee shops and cafes and buying gift certificates, and rather than giving them out, I gave them to the people who work there to give out, because it was important for me to make sure that this message is continued, way beyond kind of my good deed. And it was astonishing to go back today and hear the stories from the people that gave out their, first of all, their reaction when you give them a gift certificate and say, I want you to pick 5 people and give this gift certificate to. Like, what? Oh my gosh. And to hear their stories today, the people they gave it to immediately turned around and started paying it forward as well. So it's quite an astonishing thing what one simple act can do. And I know you hear it over and over again, but it can change the world, and it's quite unbelievable.
Before we continue, I want to ask, did any of you guys out there take part in the Pay It Forward movement yesterday? I know that, yeah, there's some here, some over here. I know there were a lot of people who were tweeting with the hashtag about Pay It Forward, and it's warmed my heart so much to see. And I looked, if you have a chance, go on Twitter and look at, is it 9/11 Pay It Forward or Pay It Forward 9/11? Both? Okay, both of those hashtags are in play, and you can see all of the amazing things that people were doing, from getting cookies and sending them to the local firehouse, to gifts for the teachers of their children, to gift certificate where they would put money on it and give it to the person behind them in line, who would then go ahead and put more money on it and give it back to the person behind them. And somebody said there was an example of that went on for 11 hours where nobody took the gift. They all kept giving the gift to the person behind them. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Let's keep going.
Hi, I'm DeLon Grant. I played Bob and others. So yesterday, we did it on Saturday. Gino Carr, who played Oz Fudge, who's not here, he has a son, so he has to go home. But we went to the firehouse just up the street on 8th Avenue. We split our money up. We gave them a $60 gift card from Starbucks, and we just said, put this in a common space, and we hope that you guys just rotate it around. And then we wanted to do two things. So we went to a random restaurant, and we wanted to find the other thing I should say. So we went to the coffee shop to get the gift card, and people who'd seen the show came up behind us, and they were like, "It's on us," and we were like, "What? This is hilarious because we're not even buying it for us." So, and they were like, "Oh wow, this amazing thing." We gave them a card. We talked about it there. We left and we went to the fire station and gave the gift card, and then these two people stopped and wanted to talk about the show. So we were talking about the show and what we were doing. We gave them a card, and then we went to the random restaurant. Who was this couple who had just gotten married, and I was so touched by this. This couple had helped this other couple with their wedding, so they were taking them out to this restaurant to thank them for helping them with their wedding. And we went to the hostess and we were like, we just want to give $40 to whoever. And she was like, oh, go over there. It's like their wedding thing. And we were like, great. Hey, Caitlin, what's going on? And she was like, this is so amazing. We're thanking them for helping us with our wedding, and you're giving us this money for our meal. And we hugged them and had a moment. And then as we were leaving, there was another couple that was like, we just saw the show. It was so good. And Gino and I were like, it kept flowing. And then Gino left and I kept going. I went to 2 more coffee shops, and actually a friend of Q's down there, he was like, I know Q in the show. And I was like, great, can I buy you whatever you're buying for you? And we just kept it going. It was really, really cool.
There is goodness everywhere.
Hi, my name's Astrid, and I play Beulah and others. I actually was on vacation last week, and I kind of missed out on the Pay It Forward, but while I was home, I kind of had that in my mind, and anytime I went out, I picked up the tab with my friends, I was a starving actor and had no money, so that was kind of nice. But then sometimes I would tell them ahead of time because they'd be ordering not a lot. So I'd be like, I'm picking up tab, please have whatever you want.
And they'd be like, I'm getting the lobster.
Getting the lobster. So that was kind of fun. So I did that for the whole week, and yeah, I might still do that sometime this week. I think it's kind of nice to have it as surprise day too, not just on the day of service of 9/11. So
absolutely.
But yeah, that's it.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I play Janice and others. I was partnered with Q, what did you tell them?
We actually started with Kevin, so we're going to come back around.
Can I walk over and we'll tell them?
Well, here, I'll give Q the mic here, and
all right. We decided to go into a bunch of little things for people that we would just come upon that we saw look like they could do something. But my favorite thing that we did was we got Metro cards and filled them up, and we swiped people in, and we had 2 different people that swipe them in. They're sort of like, what? I don't really understand what's happening. We gave the cards, and no, just have a great day, and 2 people separately went down the stairs stairs at Times Square, like to get on their train, and maybe like a minute and a half later, separately of each other, came back all the way up the stairs to see if we were still there, to say, I didn't really understand what was happening when you were swiping me in, and this really just made my day. Thank you so much. And the other thing that I loved was that the teller that we were buying the Metro cards for, he was like beaming ear to ear, watching all of it go down, and you know, just other people watching what we were doing, even just smiling, and it's very contagious, and it's so easy, and it doesn't take that much time and energy. And I think being a part of the show has made me aware of that in a way as a New Yorker that I hadn't been before. It's rare that we look each other in the eye or do something nice just because we're all like blinders up. So.
Good job. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add except that, you know, that phrase that people say, what a difference a day makes. You know, it's really, you know, what a difference an act of kindness can make. It can make someone's day, it can make someone's life, and it's extraordinary to be a part of this. That's all I wanted to say. I'm Sue Smith. People call me Beyonce for short. And I play Hannah in Neighbors.
I think, wait, is that a real live Newfoundlander that we have down there? Any other Newfoundlanders in the audience? Oh, we've got a lot of you. That's amazing. Thanks for joining us and thanks for bringing us to Newfoundland. Look at, they've got the hats on. How many people in this room have kissed a cod? Oh my gosh! I love that. Thanks for being here with us, guys. All right, PETRINA.
Yeah, I'm PETRINA Bromley. I play Bonnie and others, and I also wasn't a participant today, or yes, what was it? Day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Yesterday, because there was an event in St. John's in Newfoundland, which is where I'm from. National Day of Service is also in Canada. We have also named it a National Day of Service. So the Liberal caucus or cabinet, who is that's the government. Justin Trudeau, have you heard of him? They're meeting right now before this in St. John's, and so they had this event, and Michael Rubinoff helped cook up, where myself and David and Irene, the writers of the show, and Seamus O'Regan, who is a member of Parliament from St. John's, he moderated a panel discussion with us and Claude Elliott, real-life mayor of Gander, for a house about this size of MPs and MHAs, which are all our political people. I know Canada, the system's different, and also first responders and Red Cross volunteers and members who were participants on the day. So it was a really beautiful, beautiful event just to talk about the journey of the show and how much it means to us, and to share it at home and be asked. There were 1,000 seats, so we were asked 1,000 times, when is it coming to St. John's?
Was there an answer?
No.
You just have to tell them all to come down.
You just say, that's not, I can't answer that because I don't have that answer, that's not my problem. No. We were asked a few times, but it's all right. It was a lovely, lovely event. I was very proud to be there.
And we've got one more over here. Tony nominee from COLELLA.
So yesterday was an extraordinary day all around. I think I heard Chad, as I was getting out of Mike in costume, talk about, we were just so grateful for the opportunity to be of service. This show has taught us to open our hearts even more. We're all pretty kind people, but it has softened our edges in a way that still astounds me. And what's so sweet about it is that we're reminded that kindness is accessible at all times, not merely in the wake of tragedy. And so it's a practice, right? And so we're putting it into practice, and we're kind of starting a movement here at the show in Feld, and I am so grateful. I can feel you guys reacting to it, and I know that you're a part of that movement now too, so thank you for listening and wanting to be a part of this as well. It feels really, really lovely. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Give me some love. So yesterday I went with my, with our, one of our wardrobe dressers, our assistant, and she's very sweet and very shy, and she was like, I'm just gonna hold the money and just the cards and you do the thing. And so I was happy to, and it was interesting how many people kind of didn't understand what was going on at first. That was the thing that took me aback, was how taken aback people were when I was like, if you don't mind, I'd love to grab your coffee for you. And they look and I'm like, just it's 9/11 and I want to be kind and you could pay it forward if you like, but you don't have to. And some people were like, nope. And me, I didn't want. I was like, oh, but you don't have to do anything. And then some people would go on to explain, I don't need it. Save it for someone else who needs it. And I think everyone needs kindness. So I was like, you're taking it. No, that part was interesting. The ebb and flow of who was ready to accept, right? And we did the swipes. The swipes were super fun because you can just kind of do that. I'm like, may I swipe for you? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's happening. You know, I can't get away from the swipe. And then I wanted to go into places where, like McDonald's and Wendy's and places like that. And one of my favorite moments, there was a woman, an elderly woman, and she was just getting tea. And I said, would you like anything else to eat? I'd love to pick up your tab today. And she was like, no, I just need my tea. And I said, well, may I buy it for you? And she said, yes, you may. And so I bought it for her, and we shook hands, and I gave her the card. And then we walked out, and we were buying this cool homeless dude, this sweet, sweet fella outside of McDonald's. I was like, you hungry? And he said, yeah. I said, what would you like? He said, cheeseburger and a Coke. I said, you want fries? He goes, I don't need fries. And I was like, right on. So we go in to get his cheeseburger and Coke, and the woman from Wendy's with the tea comes in and finds us, and she has tears in her eyes, and she said, I got a cancer diagnosis today, and you have made my day. Thank you so much for your kindness. And we embraced, and people in the line kind of took note. That was the other thing, right? Were the observers, people watching this kindness happen. It was amazing. It was really one of the most incredible days ever, and it makes me think for us to continue every single day, even if it's a smile or holding a door, looking someone in the eye, we can continue this particular movement. It doesn't have to be the energy of money every time. Yeah, thanks for listening.
We're about to wrap up, but there's a woman named Lisa here who actually was also on the planes. She was on an American Airlines plane. Lisa, can you stand up? Is that you? Lisa! And she's the other Lisa. Thank you for sharing today with us. You guys have all given beautiful stories about paying it forward and doing good work on 9/11. Kevin, did you want to add something?
I'll be really quick. I just got back from Gander doing a book tour, and two remarkable things happened. One, a man came up to me, he said, I bought your book. He was a 40, 50-year-old man. He's a janitor at a hotel in Gander. He said, I've only read 2 books cover to cover, and yours is one of them. And then he said, but I love the part I paid forward, and I made something for you. You made this bracelet. It's a rope bracelet, and he made it, and it did cost him a lot of money, but I wear it now. It's wonderful. The second thing that happened was we're doing a documentary in Gander, and a lot of the real people were there, and these 2 people came up to me from Gander, and they said, we love your pay it forward, and they gave me $100. And that has never happened in 15 years. But I turned around and I paid it forward yesterday to the Queen Elizabeth September 11th Garden, which is a beautiful garden honoring the people from the Commonwealth who died in World Trade Center. And then finally, I had one pay it forward. There is a woman here in the audience who has seen this show 100 times. Over 100. And I'm paying it. This is straight from Gander. It's an STFD t-shirt.
Talked about in the media and in the marketing materials and everything is it's not a show about September 11th, it's about a show about September 12th and beyond. And today is September 12th, and I'm very excited about the idea of taking Pay It Forward beyond September 11th into September 12th, which is today. We still have 3 hours left in September 12th to do our pay it forward, do our good deeds, and then there's tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And if we can all take the energy of this show and the motivation, the inspiration of the stories you guys have all told, do something good. Pay it forward today. Let someone know, and maybe it'll be, talk about something that could go viral in the best possible way. Let's just spread that love. Thank you guys all so much.